Yes, sir. Petty Teddy. A problematic series. Previously on Petty Teddy. We don't control our own narrative.
First thought I had was social media.
Well, do you think we control social media?
As a black man, or as definitely
Social media influencers are usually going to be people from the majority, which are white people.
We do not control the image of blackness in any form or fashion.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it. Education is a thing. It's something that we need. But I know people that are in California that
the most liberal state in the United States.
Right. But I know people that's in California that when they're trying to go to public schools, if the buses decide that they're no longer picking up in your area, you now have to walk 7 miles to get to your
That's
school.
a state issue.
Okay, but I'm walking through these 7 miles to get to my school, and in these 7 miles, I just talked about California, it's gang-infested areas. You know, this public school is in gang-infested areas. You're talking about that you have to want to be educated, but I don't want to get my ass whooped.
But when it comes to gang, if you really want an education, you're going to try to get there some kind of way. I understand there's gangs and stuff like that, but that's part of society.
Right, I think
just like
I'm kind of speaking from like some people that I know who still, I don't want to say in the hood, but like, you know, still haven't
Still what they
had
want.
opportunity,
Yeah.
haven't had opportunity given to them, which opportunity should be free.
given.
Opportunity, there should be opportunity for everybody to have a chance to make something of themselves. And some people in the hood just don't have opportunity, don't have resources to even, you know, educate themselves.
That's real.
So I feel like people in that situation kind of don't even have the education to understand that we have a choice to decide if how you feel about racism, or if they want to decide that I want to make my own choices about whatever I want to do. And
Too often when we have these conversations about things like racism, things about self-education, things of that nature, we get caught up in the individual examples. We get caught up in the micro, well, there's X person in X scenario doing
I want
this.
to talk about that.
In reality, let's talk about the truth.
Okay.
The truth is, on a macro level, the education system in the United States is fashioned in a way that does not allow black and brown people to educate themselves or receive proper education.
Affirmative action. What's that?
Affirmative action gets more white women into college than anybody else. Affirmative action is a tool
What was it made
for
for?
white people.
When was it made for?
It's made for us by people
But it was
who are
misused by who?
by white people.
Exactly. So
Right,
I'm not,
exactly. It's a system they created
Exactly.
in our name
Listen.
that got them.
This is not
Where they need to
against
go.
affirmative action. I'm saying this is a representation of what I was trying to say. This is a representation of race. They're gonna act like they're doing something for us, but they're really not doing nothing for us. Affirmative action, you know, because of something that happened previous to us, we're gonna allow, you know, a certain amount of minorities to come to school, but at the same time, we're gonna counter that by doing other things. That's what I'm saying, you know. But we have to be above that.
At the end
We're
of the
smart
day-
enough to know that.
At the end of the day, I guess what my problem is that too often do we put the focus on individuals. You got to do this to beat racism. You got to do this to. We put the onus on black people to solve their own oppression.
Yeah.
We didn't create these systems. We didn't create these processes. We didn't create these rules. So how is it that someone can expect the people who are being oppressed to solve their oppression? Is that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how educated you are, how much money you make, how much you're loved by the populace. Ask LeBron James. They love LeBron James. These white people in Ohio and LA, everywhere, worship the ground he walks on. But he's not immune to the systems of oppression that exist in the world. And the problem is that if we continue to think that if we do X, Y, Z, that's going to put us in good eyes with them, we're never going to get anything done.
I think using LeBron as a good example, he does still see that, you know, like there are these systems that are oppressing him, and I feel like he was a good example because he was able to see that not every black male is going to be athletically gifted, and we can't all just always bank on going to a professional sport.
Exactly.
So he did create his own charter school,
And
being
business.
able to employ black teachers that might not get that job as easy as their white counterpart that might have a less credentials. So he's employing black teachers, creating a black education system for people who come from poor economic backgrounds just as him. So now people like him are using him as an example. He's creating a system for people like us to do better.
Yeah,
and I feel like in America,
systems.
in America, we're just getting onto this now. Like white people been doing that when they saw
We
that
had a
public.
400-year head start.
But I'm saying like we are just now like we're starting to get
Not
more.
just now. We have been doing the process of creating systems for ourselves for many years. This is not what LeBron did is wonderful, but it's not nothing new. The idea of black people creating entire systems separate outside of the U.S. government, outside of state and municipal powers, is not new.
No.
All you got to do is Google Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood. The Greenwood neighborhood, Black Wall Street. And what they don't tell you is there was a Black Wall Street in almost every state in America. We've been creating systems for ourselves. But the problem is, and I'm going to be a broken record on this, is that we continue to go back to the mentality that somehow, if we do X, Y, and Z, we're going to have control over ourselves and we're going to be able to create
But we won't.
and be fine. At the end of the day, as long as the current systems in the United States stand, as long as the U.S. federal government exists in the way that it exists,
So what do you mean by exist the way that it does?
Yeah.
if status quo, if the systems, the way our constitution works, the way our law system works, the way our policing system works, the way our government budgeting works, if all of those systems continue, there will never be a day when African Americans in this society will have full control of their destiny or will have true equal opportunity to achieve anything.
What does our
Because of people.
Constitution have to do with that?
Our
We're not
con-
3/5 person no more.
No.
The Second Amendment is not just for
no.
black
The
folk. I want you to
Constitution-
expound on that Constitution part.
The Constitution is written in a way to set up our government so that nobody can have effective control over anything in our government system.
If you love life, don't ever let it waste, y'all. That's why you gotta make love, make peace, make noise, make art. Let me get a soul clap. Can I get a soul clap? Let me get a soul clap. Can I get a soul clap?